other political party leaders.
Political leaders from the 6 opposition parties with representation in Parliament, joined by scholars, have convened for a consultative retreat. The meeting that will discuss constitutional and electoral reforms is organized by the Office of the Leader of Opposition in Parliament. Mathias Mpuga, the Leader of Opposition in Parliament, said he is alive to the fact that the issues they are discussing will be seen as old and tired and whose fulfillment has been in vain.
It is very likely that some of the emerging conversations out of this retreat will sound old to many veteran actors like myself in these spaces. But the theatre and platform we seek to occupy and influence has over time enrolled new actors and goers.
Members of Parliament backed Mpuga's stand.
If you're NRM, you can sense that at least this can help our nation go ahead. Take an example. There is where we are talking about the constituencies, that there are very many. How are we going to go about that?
Of course, touching base with the electorates is very good in form of consultations. That ideas that we develop from here, we can touch base with the ground, the electorates. They give us their own interpretation of the issues around so that we can take them back to Parliament.
Robert Kyagulanyi, the president of the National Unity Platform, spoke after Mpuga feels that such diplomatic processes are a waste of time.
We discuss them here, and because the regime feels threatened by them, they usually end here. So that reality should remind all of us that our first and main duty should be removing the Museveni dictatorship.
Kyagulanyi fell short of elaborating the means of regime change other than an election, which he says he has little faith in. Some politicians at the event said the means could involve protests and civic uprising.
Everyone rise up and say, please, enough is enough. We need A, B, C, D. Automatically, you'll have to bow down. So uprising, mobilizing community, mobilizing people to get aware of their rights is one of the ways of removing Yoweri Museveni.
The only constitutional limitation, the Constitution says you must assemble unarmed. So you must assemble unarmed, but you can be in numbers and numbers. And it has happened in other countries of the world, where people, because the liberation of a country is not liberating those in power, but the same people being governed.
There was skepticism about how to successfully execute the protests, given the suppression by security forces.
Sometimes when a regime suppresses conflicts and contains them, it thinks that there are no conflicts. No, the conflicts are not resolved through coercive machinery.
I kindly request you to contextualize your proposals with this larger challenge of impunity that we continue to face as a country.
As a nation, we do not have conditions that can guarantee writing a new constitution founded on that concrete, anchored on that concrete foundation you're talking about. And wouldn't that again presuppose having another bout of a revolution?
Ndebesa Mwambusia, a political scholar and lecturer of politics at Makerere University, argued that the political players need to co-opt socio-economic issues that affect the ordinary people.
It is time you combine human rights with economic and survival rights. If you tell people about school fees, about medical bills, about inequality.
The retreat closes tomorrow, hopefully with meaningful recommendations that the opposition parties will pass on to their supporters. Jackson Onyango, reporting for NTV.